We are adding and subtracting polynomials. A polynomial, the word means many terms, and we're going to talk about that right here. So you've got in your main idea section a lot of new words, a lot of definitions we need to go through, so let's start. So standard form is the one on top. Our goal today is we're classifying polynomials by degree. That means what exponent does it have? The number of terms, how many separate things does it have? A plus or a minus sign separates that. So like this one has 1 in blue on the right, 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. The name of the leading coefficient, a coefficient is a number in front of a variable, and we're going to add or subtract. So we're doing a lot of combining like terms, putting backpacks together. All right, so standard form. Let's do that definition first. Standard form is the order in which you're going to write your answers. Ax squared plus bx plus c. A, b, and c are numbers. So an x squared has more authority. It has more importance than just like an x to the first power. So we order them. We call it in decreasing order. X squared goes in front. X to the first goes in front. And then the number, remember last week we talked about the word constant? That c at the end is just a constant all by itself. That number always goes at the end because it's like not as important. Okay, the word leading coefficient. Leading coefficient is the number in front of the variable. The number in front of variable. I had limited space. Let me talk a little more. We write all of our math answers in order from like x squared, x to the first, and then your constant at the end. Just like this one's written right here. See? So the leading coefficient is going to be the leader and then the coefficient. So the number in front of, this time it's x to the third. So our leading coefficient would be the 2 for that example. The degree of a polynomial, the degree means the highest exponent. The degree means the highest exponent. So whatever power is the largest, whatever exponent is the largest, that's what we call the degree of the entire polynomial. Many things written together. Classify by the number of terms. A term is separated by a plus sign or a minus sign. So let me do a little highlighting. I don't even know if this will work. Let's see. Here's my highlighter. Here's a kind of. It just whited it out. There's one term. Here's another term. Here's the third term, and here's the fourth term. Okay? So this polynomial example on the right has 4 terms. Obviously not use that yellow again. All right, so then you have at the bottom of the box, it says 1 term, 2 terms, 3 terms. So now here's our vocab, our big vocab words. 1 term, which would be like just a number, or just like negative 7g. We call that a monomial. Oops. Monocle. An eyeglass that's just one circle, goes over one eye. A monogram. One initial. One to one. Mano y mano. Man to man, 1 to 1. 2 terms is called a binomial. Bicycle, 2 wheels. Bifocal, 2 lenses in one glass, like 2, separate pieces of glass in a reading glasses. Grow up. 3 terms. Trinomial. Tricycle, 3 wheels. Tripod, 3 legs or 3 stands. Give me another try.
Triangle.
Triangle, 3 sides. Oh my gosh, that's like the most obvious one ever. Okay, perfect. So then the word polynomial means more than 3. Polynomial means poly, many. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever. Okay?
Polygon.
Polygon, many sides.
Polygenic.
So we're moving on. Here's what you need to do for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need to say the number of terms for each one. We need to say the degree. And let's do the leading coefficient. I'll call that LC. So on 6, how many terms does the number 6 have?
1.
Term, 1. What's the degree? 6 to the what power?
1. The first power.
First degree. And if there's only one term, then that's called a monomial. Leading coefficient, well, turns out that 6 is just a constant, a number by itself. So there's no leading coefficient. So you just leave that part blank. Yeah, just like I did. All right, number 2. How many terms does number 2 have? 1 term, which is called a monomial. Right? What's the degree of negative 2x? Negative 2x, what power is that? What exponent do you see next to the x?
Negative first.
A first, a 1 exponent. What is the coefficient in front of x?
Negative the first degree.
Nope. What is the coefficient? I still haven't heard it. 2 is not right. Negative 2. We're just describing and classifying these terms. Number 3. What degree, or wait, what did we start with? Number of terms.
Do you add it?
2. You don't add them. 3 has a backpack. 1 does not. What is the degree? What's the degree?
Second degree.
No, I don't see a little 2.
1.
First.
7, 9.
And what is the leading coefficient? Because you know what? We really need to write it in order. 3x plus 1 is the better way to write this because we always write it in descending order. And x to the first has more importance than just a plain old 1, a constant. So the leading coefficient right now is going to be the 3.
So for it to be a leader, it has to have
Okay, on number 3, it's a binomial. Number 4, how many terms does it have?
A poly.
How many terms does it have? Count. No, not 2.
4. 4.
How many terms does number 4 have? How many separations between plus signs and minus signs?
3.
There's 3 terms. What's the degree? You look at the highest degree.
2.
Second. It is a trinomial, right? Because there's 3 terms. Tri.
Wait, how do you find the degree?
Because the exponent. The
Oh,
choices for terms are this. First term, second term, third term. So this how many different things are there? And plus signs and minus signs separate them. 5 and 6. What is the degree of number 5? No, look at the exponent. Third. However, though, this is a binomial. There are only two things. First thing, second thing. Binomial. What's the leading coefficient? No. Leading coefficient means you look at the highest exponent and the number in front of the x.
Oh, 4.
4. It's 4. Because x to the third has more importance than... And then what did we forget? Number of terms. But we know that's 2 because it's a binomial. Ooh, number 6. Let's write it in order, please. Yes. 7 has the biggest exponent. 7 has a negative sign in front of it. So I'm going to put negative 7x in front. It's not a positive 7x, it's a negative 7x to the third. Oh, that's not even the biggest. Thanks, Josh. 2x to the fourth is in front. Then what? There's nothing to the second. What's written next? Minus what? Minus 5x. And what's written last?
1.
Plus 1. Now it's in proper order, descending order. 4, 3, a 1, and then a constant. What's the degree of this polynomial?
4.
Degree means what's the highest exponent?
4.
Fourth degree. It's a polynomial because it has more than 3 or many. It, leading coefficient. What is the coefficient? LC. 2. Thank you. Oops. So the next thing that we're going to start doing is adding and subtracting and combining like terms. So I'm going to do my technique of using different colors because I have the ability to. Or you can underline or zigzag or put a square around it or circle it or anything. So here's number 7. Everything in between the parentheses is added. So something that I want to get in the habit of doing is writing it out of the parentheses because the next problem, for example, is a subtraction and we're going to write it with the parentheses gone. So you might find this redundant, but I am just going to go and write everything out of parentheses because plus signs mean that there really is no need for the parentheses to be there. You don't have to rewrite it like I did, okay? Like terms mean all of the things that are x to the third go together. All of the things that are x squared, all of the things that are x to the first go together, and all of the constants, plain old numbers, go together. So let's choose some fun colors.
Green.
Okay, they have to be visible. Green's really bad with this program. X to the third in purple. Only one of them. It's -1. So I'm going to categorize these just so it's like super basic and easy. That guy's all by himself. Okay. Now let's do x to the second. I got a 5. I got a 3. I have a 4. I'm just going to let it go. Okay, so let's put all the reds together. What? What did I forget? What did I forget? 2x squared. Woo! Good thing you guys are with it, huh? Okay, so all my reds. Here we go. 5x squared. A positive 2x squared. A positive 3x squared. A positive 4x squared. So they all have x squareds. back at the beginning of the school year, I described these as like the X squareds, like the rolly backpacks, right? So they're the same type of backpack, you just focus on the numbers. 5 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4.
14.
So together it makes 14, and I keep it X squared. Keep the X squared the same. They are like terms. You're not going to change the variable and its exponent. We are adding and subtracting. I don't want to do black because that's not easiest to see. A blue. Okay. Now I'm just going to do what's next on my list of to-do. The single x's. -1. -4. Oh, okay. -x minus 4x. Those two go together. What's a -x and then minus 4x?
A positive X.
Okay, it's -5, and you keep just x. No squared, no third, nothing. And what's all alone? This 7. I'll do zigzag. This 7. This -8. 7 plus 7 plus -8. These are called my constants, right? What is 14 take away 8?
6.
Okay. So now what I need to do, I got all my final things. I've got -x to the third, 14x squared, -5x, and 6. I'm going to write them in descending order. The highest exponent has the most power,
Did you get those sevens?
goes first. This 7 right here, brown, 7 up here, see it?
Yeah.
This 7 right here,
Oh yeah.
and this -8.
So it's 6.
My final answer, I have to write it all. -x to the third, positive 14x squared, minus 5x, positive 6. This polynomial is the answer when I added all three of those parentheses. All right, number 9. Number 9's issue is that if there's a -2 in front of the parentheses, the second parentheses. But that's okay because we can distribute that, and we are going to do that. So this -2 gets distributed here. -2 gets distributed there. -2 gets distributed there. Nothing happens to the front. So I'm just going to write the front as is. There's no number to distribute in front of the parentheses. So I'm going to write it outside of the parentheses. Now this -2. Everyone out loud tell me what the first term is.
-6.
-6
Yeah.
plus what? Plus 18x to the second power. Okay, take a break. Someone else. Plus 4x. Good job. So when we distributed the -2, that's what we got. Now do your combining like terms, and I will catch back up with you in like 2 minutes. Go ahead. What'd you get?
2x plus 4x is 6x.
Okay, so the 2x plus 4x is 6x. Okay, what else?
-3 plus -9. Wait, -6.
-3 and -6 is -9. Okay, what else?
And 7x squared plus 18x squared plus 25x squared.
25x squared. Awesome. So let's put those all together for one big final answer. What's it going to be? Can be someone new this time.
Oh, I know it.
Chris, go.
25x4 plus 6x.
25x. Don't change the backpack.
Oh, x4.
No, they're still rolly backpacks.
X2.
Dude. I love X2.
Yeah, that's what I was. Plus 6x. minus 9.
You guys agree with him?
I got that right.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
agree with
I-
Chris.
I-
100%.
Good.
I-
All right. So now, the let's talk about the classwork and